Hey, my name's Steve.
And the third song,
how you doing, bro? This is my daughter, Hailey.
The third song is...
Yeah.
You know, her and I have really big lives, and Hailey's such a driven person. I'm such a driven person, so it allowed us to take a step back and focus on each other. That was actually really a beautiful thing.
You know, preach what you already practiced. What?
Our cover.
Let me see. That's the cover? Wow, it's out?
Mm-hmm. It says, "My heart is where my wife is."
That's pretty. Hailey really empowers me and enables me to feel like, Justin, I love you for you. You are enough. And that enables me to go into my workspace and be confident and feel like I'm enough. And I think we're just learning how to navigate the relationship.
Justin is reportedly engaged.
He's really funny. We have a good time together. He's just really sweet. He's a good kid. He's a good heart, and I love him.
Congrats, you two.
You know it. You already know, baby. I made her a Bieber, had to wipe it down. You already know, baby.
But I didn't know it would happen, and so I'm really pumped about it. I'm really happy about it. And I have the sickest chick in the game.
It all happened really fast and kind of all at once, but, you know, him and I have known each other for so long that there was a part of it that didn't feel scary, but it's just such a big life decision that it was so much emotion all at one time.
They called it a rebound, a PR move, a mistake. Yet somehow, this marriage refused to collapse. This isn't just another celebrity marriage. It's two young people chasing stability, faith, and love, while the world never looks away. And here's where it all quietly begins. Back in 2009, Hailey Baldwin was just a teenager being introduced backstage to Justin Bieber. No sparks flying, no dramatic moments, just an awkward, polite meeting between two kids orbiting the same fast-moving industry. They stayed loosely connected for years, crossing paths occasionally, watching each other grow up from a distance. At the time, it meant nothing. But looking back, it planted something subtle. Familiarity in a world where almost nothing ever feels real. Now this is where the pressure really starts to crack the foundation. Justin's rise wasn't normal fame. It was global, obsessive, relentless. And his on-again, off-again relationship with Selena Gomez became a full-blown cultural fixation. Jelena wasn't just a couple. It was a fandom, a storyline, a shared fantasy millions of people felt entitled to protect. So when Hailey entered the picture, she didn't just meet Justin, she met expectations. Comparisons were instant. Every interaction was framed as temporary, second choice, or interference. Trying to build something real under that kind of emotional surveillance? That's not romance. That's psychological warfare.
How did you and Hailey meet? I don't think I've ever heard that story.
How did we meet? We met in the early mornings of a Today Show taping. I'm pretty sure she didn't want to be there. Her dad dragged her out of bed in the morning. And basically was like, you know, I think because she was raised Christian, and I think they found out that, like, I think it was an arranged marriage, I'm pretty sure. I'm not. Looking back now, I'm like, it was definitely an arranged marriage. Like, they set this whole thing up.
Just when it seemed like their paths had permanently split, everything accelerated. In mid-2018, Justin and Hailey reconnected. Not slowly, not cautiously, but intensely. Within weeks, they were inseparable. Then came the shockwave. An engagement in July. A courthouse marriage by September.
As I was young, I always wanted to be married. I always wanted a family. That was always high on my list.
To the outside world, it looked reckless. Too fast, too soon. But inside that whirlwind was urgency. A desire to lock in safety before the chaos swallowed them again. The engagement barely settled before the commentary exploded. Marriage will fix him. This will calm him down. The pressure wasn't subtle. It was loud, confident, and wrong. Justin later admitted that early marriage didn't heal him. Instead, it exposed everything he hadn't dealt with yet.
I think I was more nervous about, am I gonna make this commitment? Am I able to make this commitment as a man and be able to honor, you know, what I say you know, because that's a serious commitment when you say you're gonna love someone for better, for worse, and like be faithful. That's a huge, am I able to do that? And so I think that was really what I was battling with.
He broke down emotionally, realizing love doesn't erase trauma. Imagine learning that lesson while millions are watching, judging, and predicting your divorce in real time. The wedding wasn't the finish line. It was the beginning of the hardest emotional stretch of his life. Justin later admitted that early in the marriage, he felt overwhelmed by expectations he couldn't meet. He said, "I thought marriage was going to fix everything." And it didn't. That realization hit hard. Love didn't calm the chaos. It exposed it. For the first time, the fantasy everyone projected onto them collided with reality. This wasn't a fairy tale anymore. It was two people realizing how unprepared they were, while the world waited for them to fail. Justin was launched into global fame before he learned emotional regulation. Hailey grew up near celebrity, but still fighting for her own identity. Put those two together under constant scrutiny, and instability wasn't shocking. It was predictable. Justin has never pretended marriage fixed him. In fact, he said the opposite. After the wedding, the weight hit harder. Depression, burnout, a constant sense of pressure he couldn't shake. Fame had given him everything early, but it also left him emotionally exposed.
It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they loved me and, just turn their back on you in a second.
Struggling to regulate feelings most people learn to manage privately. He talked openly about waking up heavy, overwhelmed, and questioning himself. Therapy became necessary, not optional. This wasn't a pop star phase. It was a young man realizing love doesn't erase pain. It reveals it. And facing that truth publicly took more strength than people ever gave him credit for. But the toll didn't stop with him. Hailey has been honest about how brutal certain periods were, especially postpartum life. She described it as the most sensitive emotional stretch she's ever experienced, made worse by nonstop rumors dissecting her marriage. At a moment when most people retreat inward, she was being judged outwardly. Justin has spoken about how spirituality helped him reframe his inner voice, soften the constant self-judgment, and find grounding when everything felt chaotic. Faith didn't make life easier, it made it clearer.
I just didn't know what the heck was going on, and so I really took a deep dive in my faith, to be honest. I just went deep into, I believed in Jesus, but I never really, when it says following Jesus is actually turning away from sin.
And marriage, in this phase, stopped being a fairy tale and started being a refuge. Not perfection, not constant happiness, but safety. A place where both could unravel without performing. Support wasn't one-sided. It moved back and forth, depending on who was standing and who was struggling. It wasn't Justin fixing himself while Hailey waited. It wasn't Hailey absorbing pain to keep things stable. It was relational, messy, uneven, and real. That's what partnership actually looks like when you strip away romance marketing. Growth requires communication, boundaries, space, effort, and sometimes uncomfortable honesty. Real relationships aren't built on constant ease. They're built on the willingness to stay present when it's hard. What they learned wasn't how to be perfect together, it was how to stay human together. And in a world that demanded spectacle, choosing that quiet work might have been their boldest move yet. And even after years of marriage, the noise never really stopped. Rumors still cycle. Headlines still flip the story every few months. One photo sparks concern. One silence becomes trouble. And more often than not, the criticism lands on Hailey. Her expressions, her tone, her presence, all dissected like evidence. The internet keeps asking if she's enough, if she belongs, if the marriage is real. It's relentless. Not because there's proof, but because narratives are easier to recycle than truths. Instead of responding to every rumor or correcting every lie, they pulled back. Not out of defeat, but self-preservation. Less explaining, fewer justifications, more boundaries. Peace started to matter more than perception. And in an era where visibility equals validation, choosing restraint is an act of control. They stopped letting strangers dictate their emotional weather. For Hailey, reclaiming identity meant building something of her own. Rhode wasn't just a skincare brand. It was proof. Proof that she existed beyond someone's wife, beyond a storyline she didn't write. The brand's success shifted the conversation. Discipline, taste, leadership, all unrelated to who she married. In a world that tried to reduce her to proximity, she created separation, agency, direction, and maybe most importantly, self-definition. That kind of independence doesn't shout, it steadily rewrites how you're seen. Justin's shift was quieter, but just as significant. Stepping back from non-stop visibility, he started redefining what winning even looks like. Less chasing charts, more protecting health, more presence. Success became sustainability, staying well enough to keep showing up for the life he's building, not just the career he once chased. At its core, this story isn't about fame. Justin and Hailey didn't escape that pressure. They navigated it. And their evolution reflects something bigger. The challenge of staying grounded in a world that never stops watching. Growth here wasn't loud. It was intentional. Justin and Hailey weren't handed a love story. They built it. Not by avoiding struggles, but by facing them together. What they found wasn't perfection, but partnership. That's the real defiance. Not escaping scrutiny, but growing through it. What do you think is the real reason their marriage has lasted despite everything? Share below, and if you enjoyed this, hit like and subscribe. I've got more coming your way.